Right. Look who's here, Marcus Lemonis. Do you think affordability...
That was silly, what she just said.
Really?
That not one person asked her about Trump. Not one person thought it was an issue. You believe that?
What, you think she's twisting the facts here? And because it's not really affordability, it's Trump, but you didn't want to say it?
Well, first of all, affordability is an issue, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But to create this idea that nobody's talking about the President of the United States, regardless of whose party, it just feels like she's almost trying to make him a non-event. And I didn't appreciate the disingenuous nature of it.
Okay, affordability. Is that the key issue in November? Forget the war, forget the price of oil, forget everything, just affordability.
Well, I don't think you can forget those things because they have an impact. And I think if Republicans want to maintain the kind of control that we believe we need to avoid a disaster from the Biden administration, affordability is going to have to be a very clear message. And the acknowledgement that things are a problem is important. And if I was advising President Trump today, I would say to him, listen, we need to stop exaggerating that this is the greatest economy we've ever seen and that there's no problems out there. And we need to say to people, listen, there's a lot of things that we're doing right, and there are a number of things that are not happening as well as they should be. And here's what I'm going to do about it. When you talk to Americans and tell them that everything is fine, they don't like it, regardless of what side they're on.
There's a time frame involved here, isn't there? It's almost April, May, June, July, August, September, then the midterms in October. In November, I'm sorry. $4 gas, higher interest rates, mortgage rates that are going up, not down, difficulty of housing affordability. Are those issues going to go away by November? Probably not.
Well, Stuart, we looked at what happened in New York City with Mondami using affordability. We looked at what happened in Tennessee with the young lady that almost flipped the seat. We know that that's an issue, and I don't want to say that it's too late, but the clock is ticking for sure, that we need to reframe it right now.
A quick comment on this. I'm going to do my take on this in just a moment. We have a new report that the middle class is shrinking because more of them are getting rich. We are, in fact, collectively wealthier than ever. There are fewer poor people, more rich people. That's why the middle class is shrinking. 30 seconds.
I don't believe it.
No, really?
I believe that wages are up. It's a fact. Wages are up, but costs are up too. And I don't know that we can say that everybody's getting richer because people look at their 401ks. You just looked at your phone. People look at the value of their homes and they want to understand, what equity do I have? What value do I have? And is my income greater than the cost of living?
You saw the despair on my face?
Your despair is wrong place. Wrong place.
All right, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Marcus Lemonis, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.